Before we get started, I just wanted to remind everyone or let people know that I did set up a subscription page. It's called Mile Y Enthusiasts. All you have to do is hit join. It's $5 a month. Just to clarify, because I didn't do a good job clarifying or explaining it when I started it. Everything else we're doing for free still is going to remain free. I'm just adding a subscriber-based thing to add some chats, to add some prospect stuff. You are beyond forgiven, for lack of a better term, if you don't want to sign up. It's totally fine. I appreciate the support everyone has shown this channel so much. And unfortunately, a couple people got kind of ticked off that I added a subscription thing, but I am hoping it's because they thought that means that these game recaps are going to cost money. No, game recaps will never cost money. You'll have to watch some ads, but I will never charge for that stuff. I am simply creating a subscription-based content area because people asked for it and because I need the money. There you go. I'm sorry if this comes across as being cranky, but yeah, maybe I am. Maybe I am a little bit because I'm just trying to help myself out. I'm trying to help my family out. And the suggestion that I was being selfish really rubbed me the wrong way. So again, thank you so much for your support. Cannot appreciate it enough. But I would really appreciate for those of you who have the $5 a month to spare, and I understand that's not everyone. If you want to support this channel, if you want to get some extra content, all you have to do is hit join. Really appreciate it, but totally understand if that's not something you're interested in. Now, Mariners win 7-0. They improved to 10-10 on the season, and they win the first of a 3-game series against the Colorado Rockies. Go over the scoring plays. There were a bunch of them. Well, there's only 5, actually. 5's a lot. Cal Raleigh homers to left to make it 1-0 in the second inning. Big dumper singles to right to score Julio 2-0. Julio singles to center. That's in the 4th inning. So 2nd innings, 3rd inning, 4th inning. Lots of offense taking place in the mid to early innings. Julio Rodriguez singles to center to score Josh Rojas. That makes it 3-0. In the 5th inning, Jonathan Clase singles to right. Frank scores. Big dumper scores. Mitch Garver scores. And Clase's thrown out at home on what ends up being a single with a 2-base error. It was very nearly a Little League grand slam. The Rockies are bad. 6-0. And then the Mariners get one more with a Julio Rodriguez single to Josh Rojas. 7-0. Here's your negatives from this game. The Rockies are flipping awful. And we knew that. We talked about it coming into the weekend. But you watch that team play, and it's just an absolute you-know-what show. Like, I was thinking about it. How many guys would I even want on this from this roster? There's very few guys I'd want starting. Nolan Jones, he's struggling right now, but I saw enough of him last year that I'd want him on the team. Ezekiel Tovar, I think, is going to develop into a really strong shortstop. And if the Rockies offered Ezekiel Tovar for J.P. Crawford, I might consider it. I definitely wouldn't do it, to be completely honest with you. And Elias Diaz is a solid catcher. The rest of that roster, this pitching staff, it's bad. And the thing is, the reason I'm going to hammer this a little bit, it's bad for baseball. There are some teams in baseball right now that are bad for the sport. The Rockies are one of them. The White Sox, who I watched a bunch today because I've had to cover the game for work, are just dreadful. That team without Luis Robert is maybe the worst lineup in baseball. All due respect to this one. I mean, when you've got teams like Oakland that are not guaranteed to be the worst team in baseball, it's a bad look. It's a really bad look. So that's your negative for the game. The Colorado Rockies are bad for baseball right now. Colorado Rockies are bad for baseball. The Washington Nationals are bad for baseball. The Oakland Athletics are bad for baseball. Tanking is going to happen. But when we have this many teams not giving a crap about winning baseball games, it's a bad look. It's a really, really bad look. We'll get into did I want to talk about Brett DeGeus? He threw a scoreless inning, so it's fine. I will say he didn't look good. I don't trust him at all as a relief option, but it was in a 7-0 game. I'm not going to hammer Brent DeGeus in a scoreless inning in a 7-0 game. I will hammer some positives, starting with Simply Seattle, the very best in Seattle sports gear. Awesome stuff for the Mariners, Kraken, Storm, Sounders, Huskies. You can find it all at Simply Seattle. Once you find everything you're looking for, use code MOLLYWOP15. Takes 15% off your order. MOLLYWHOP15. Link in the description. Thank you so much, Simply Seattle. And thanks everyone who goes and takes advantage of that deal because it shows you're paying attention to the show. Really do appreciate it. So many positives tonight. I mean, I could have talked about Mitch Haniger in the negative section, but outside of him, I think everyone played a really good offensive game. And Haniger hit a ball that I think would have gotten out of the park if it wasn't so gosh damn cold. Sorry for the swear. First, I think of 2024. First swear 2024? I think so. Outside of that, this offense was fantastic. 6 more walks. The approach now, look, they've been helped by some bad starting pitching, no question about it. And Dakota Hudson is awful. Dakota Hudson is not a good pitcher. But they've done a lot of work. They have worked counts. They have made pitchers work. They have fouled off pitches. That sound you hear is a dog who really wants to come in and say hello. I know Lola's been in the last few videos. Lola's just going to have to remain patient for this one. But the approach has been so good. Cal Raleigh and Julio today were phenomenal. Phenomenal. Raleigh rages 5 times. All right, it's time to go get Lola. Lola did not want to get picked up, and that's fine. She's 13 and a half, actually like 13 and 3/4, which is like 108 in dog years. So she can do whatever the heck she wants. Anyway, Julio and Cal today were stars. Simply put, Cal goes 4 for 4. I believe they said that was his first 4-hit game. He hits the homer. He's now got a 364 on base percentage and a 474 slugging mark. And those numbers aren't realistic, aren't unrealistic at all. He's totally capable of both. He's capable of having an even higher slugging mark, to be honest with you. But his approach all year has been really strong. Now, a little too much weak contact at times, and he did get some pitches to hit really early in the year that he didn't quite take advantage of. But he looks fantastic. Julio, I mean, you saw that he had those flashes from the leadoff spot. And, he moved down to the 2 spot. I still think Julio should be hitting at the top for reasons that I've explained a bunch. But if you're curious, you can ask. He scorched the baseball today. I didn't drive. The one pitch that he kind of drove actually ended up being a fly out into center field. I think on a warmer day, there's a good chance that ball maybe gets out. The cold today, by the way, Colorado Rockies, why do you not have a retractable roof? So silly. So silly. Anyway, Rodriguez and Raleigh played like stars today. Raleigh also gets, Raleigh, I wish he got 2 stolen bases. Rodriguez also gets to 2 stolen bases. He's up to 6. The one bad base running mistake, which was a big one last Sunday, of course, hurt them. But even while the offense hasn't been great, I think he's added a lot of value with his wheels and certainly with his glove. And the hits are starting to drop. Just a matter of those balls going over the fence. Julio flipping Rodriguez. I think they'll go over the fence. Jorge Polanco is a walk machine. Walks a couple more times. Mitch Ganager. Maybe that's their combo. Reaches 3 times. Class A with a couple of hits. Man, I was rooting for him to get home. There is something so unjust about seeing Raleigh, France, and Garver score on that play, who have a combined run grade of 60, while Class A, the 70 grade runner, is the one who gets out. And he was out. And he did make a little bit of a base running mistake. I thought Mike Blowers made a good point that he's got to work on those secondary leads a little bit. I still have been really impressed with what I've seen from Class A so far. It reminds me a little bit of what they were getting from Cade Marlowe when they brought him up. And obviously that didn't work out great at the end. But I've been impressed with what Class A has done. And he certainly makes that outfield better. How nice is it to see him patrolling that massive left field instead of Dom Canzone? And again, I hope Dom Canzone gets very healthy and starts showing off the offensive magic that we hope he can put together. But he's not a good defensive player, and left field is such a hard position in Colorado. It's nice to have those wheels there. I usually on these positives start with the starting pitching, just because it's easy. But we're going to end with it just because of how flipping good he was. Luis Castillo was sensational. Yeah, it came against a high A lineup. And yeah, it came in the coldest of cold conditions. I think I saw, by the way, while I was recording, that this is the second coldest Mariner game, like at start or whatever. You know what I'm saying. It was cold. So that didn't help either. It doesn't change the fact that Luis Castillo shoved. And he was really darn good against the Cubs last week, too. That makes back-to-back starts where Luis Castillo has looked like a top of the rotation starter. And this rotation since really the Cubs series, since Gilbert against the Blue Jays, it's been awesome. It's been what we expected the Seattle Mariners to provide. I have so much confidence in Luis Castillo going forward, but and call it confirmation bias if you want. This made me feel good. Yes. Terrible team, terrible lineup, horrible weather. Castillo still shoved. Command was outstanding. Stuff was good. Took advantage. That's what we want to see. And a nice job by Tyson Miller. I have been much more impressed with Tyson Miller than DeGeus. I don't think either of those guys is on the roster right now if we have a fully healthy bullpen. But Tyson Miller's done a nice job. I have more confidence in Tyson Miller than I have Austin Voth. Is that a little crazy? Maybe a little. But and now the Mariners are back at 500. And you can do two things. You can say, one, the bad start no longer matters. Or you can do what I do and say, great that they're back at 500. What if they would have played better in the early portion of the season? And you could have a combination of both, too. You could have a combination of both. Maybe I'm more of the combo, actually. But they're back to 500. They get 2 more games against this crap factory. A series win is... I don't want this to bite me in the tuchus, but seems extremely likely, doesn't it? So tomorrow we have a doubleheader. I believe Hancock is pitching the first game. Let me confirm that real quick. Bear with me. I could have hit pause, but I've already hit pause once in this video. I can already hear Lola. She's ready for the explosion. But no. It's Kirby tomorrow against Paul Quantrill, and then it's Emerson Hancock against Pete Lambert. We didn't do a doubleheader last year. I'm not really sure how to go about it. I think I'll just record right after both games. Yeah. You'll get 2 videos tomorrow. And again, they will be free. I'm not charging anything extra for these recaps. I am so appreciative of your guys' support. I'm just adding a little bit extra because I need it. And I totally understand everyone who doesn't subscribe. But if you're interested, hit that join button. $4.99 a month with tax, of course. Um, yeah, great win. Great win and just a very fun week of Seattle Mariner baseball. Can they get 2 sweeps in a row? I won't be shocked. I won't be shocked. Thanks, everybody.